Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and today we're going to be giving you a complete product overview and walk around of the John Deere XUV 590M S4. So stick with us here and we'll get started. Okay guys, so we're talking about the John Deere XUV 590M S4. So we'll talk a little bit about what these model numbers mean. XUV is going to be crossover utility vehicle. So it's not just a utility vehicle for work, but considering it's a crossover, they want these machines to also be used for recreational use. But it is still a utility vehicle. It is still a work machine. As you can see, it still has a bed on it. So you can haul that cargo in it. If you look down here kind of underneath, it does still have that clearance. Good for working, going over, climbing those hills, doing those different things you're going to do. Back behind this model here, we've got some tree stumps and some fallen stuff that we've driven over and gone over, and you've got plenty of clearance to do those things. So that XUV is very important, that it's not just a utility vehicle, but it's a crossover to do all the different things you need to do. Next part of it's going to be the 590. This refers to the CCs, which is the amount of displacement in the engine, which translates to right around 35 horsepower. So this kind of gives you the size of your machine. The next part is going to be the M. That's the trim model. In all of John Deere's equipment, or most of it, it has trim models. So you have E's, M's, and R's. The M being the mid-spec model. E would be your base model or economy type model, and your R being your top of the line. So this being an M, it's going to have kind of the mid-range of features in it, which we'll go over a little more throughout this video. And then the S4, this is going to be seats 4. So as you can see in this model, it is a 4-seater, great for the 4-passenger, maybe the bigger family, the farm that has the extra workers. So it's a great model for doing those different things, carrying those passengers. So from here, guys, we'll talk a little bit about the front of the machine, and from there we'll move into the operator station. So starting here at the front, as I talked about, it's being an M model. One thing it does have is this is a power steering model. Great for all-day comfort. Driving this machine, you're not going to have to work hard to turn it. It's going to be very automotive style, turn very easy. A great feature about this M model. So also starting here, like I said, at the front, first thing you shall notice that we do have the brush guard, factory installed. You can release this and drop it down by pulling these pins on each side here. And we pull those out, and we can reach up and pull this down, and this allows us access to underneath the hood. Before we get underneath there, we'll talk a little bit about the lights here. They do have dual beam headlights in them. This is another M feature. So you'll have highs and lows just like in your car that you're used to, which is great for doing those different tasks throughout the night. Right next to those, we do have a reflector in this model. These are pop out, and you can add your turn signals or your additional driving lights. That is an option to add to this machine. You can see here we've got the great thick grill guard here to protect that radiator, as this is a liquid cooled engine, so you will need that extra protection there. So from there, we'll show underneath the hood here, you've got 2 rubber releases on each side. One there, one over here. If we release those, we can open up, look underneath. You do have your under the hood compartment. This is going to be great for where you can get to your radiator for filling it. You can get to your burp tank here or your overflow tank for that radiator to check those fluid levels. As you can see, you have great access to your shocks, to your different drive components. The red plug there is going to be for your winch. This is a winch ready model. We'll show you a little bit more about that when we get in the cab. Easy access to your lights for changing those bulbs. Right here is where you can get to the pop out on the back for those turn signals and different things. And also another great feature is the under hood storage here. We have a lot of people that really utilize this. Farmers use it for their tools or whatever they may use, but we also have a lot of recreational use here. As you can see that drain plug down in the corner. We have a lot of people that use this as a little makeshift ice chest. Now, it's not insulated. It's not going to keep your ice all day, but it will keep drinks cold for those hot summer days. So from here, guys, let's move into the operator station. Okay, guys, so sitting here in the cab, like I explained before, being an M model, there's going to be some features in this cab that you wouldn't have maybe in your E models. So the first thing we'll talk about will be down here at our feet. As you can see, you have the different safety stickers here explaining the different things, needing to have your seatbelt on at all times, wearing a helmet, being careful of that upset or overturn. Great information there that a lot of people look over, so you definitely want to check those out and read them. Next, also down here by your feet, obviously we'll talk about our pedal system. We do have the accelerator and brake, just like automotive style right there, easy to get to. One thing that trips up a lot of customers on this model when they get it, if not explained to them at time of purchase, is the parking brake. As you notice, there's nothing up here. A lot of people are used to a handle, pull lever for their parking brake. This is a foot style parking brake. So right now it is engaged. To disengage it, you can fully depress it and it pops out. To engage it, push back down, and as you go you can hear the clicks of it locking down. That would be how you fully engage that parking brake. Number one thing that I would say trips customers up would be that, so definitely take note of that there. Next, also down here around the foot area, I don't know that this was a design that was implemented intentionally by Deere. This is going to be the cover for your drive system going to the front of the machine, but one thing that it does serve a good purpose as is keeping your feet separated between operator station and your passenger station over here. That doesn't seem like a very big thing, but sometimes, you know, when you're close quarters in these machines, getting your feet tangled up to where you can't get to that pedal is not going to be a good thing. So having this here would help out in a lot of situations. So just like to point that out there. Moving up here onto the dash, we'll start here at our key switch. Very simple. It's right there by the steering wheel like it would be, but I'd point out that also it does give you instruction that you must have your foot on the brake to start this machine. So from there, I'm going to turn the key on and show you the display. As we look up here, it is an LCD display, which is nice. That is an upgrade from some models. Very clear, very crisp, easy to see. You've got your different lighted. We can show here that we're in park. We've got our engine coolant temperature, our speedometer, and our fuel gauge, which this is nice for a lot of people, that electronic fuel gauge, easy to tell how much fuel you have in. You've also got your RPMs here. You have your odometer. This can be changed by this information button. So if I press it, it goes from odometer to trip. I press it again, it goes to hours and back to odometer. And the button above it is going to be for your screen brightness. It's going to be hard to tell here today, but if I reach over and I push that button, it comes up down there with the different levels of brightness. You can change that just depending on preference. Over here to the left of the display, you've got all these additional plugs here. These are going to be for your different attachments, say for your turn signal lights, maybe your additional driving lights, all of those things. Very easy to just pop these out and add those switches in, just like this rocker switch here. This is going to be for your dual beam lights. So if you go up one, you've got your normal lights. You go up high, you've got your driving lights, so, or your brights, excuse me. So that's a great function of this machine, this M model. As we move on over, you can see here at the top we do have the two cup holders, which is great for whatever beverages you prefer there. You've also got below that, you've got a little bit of styling here, and then as we go down, we've got our gear selectors. So you do have reverse, neutral, high, and low. And right next to it, we've got our selector for two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive with rear lock. Now, there's a lot of questions about this feature also that we get. The rear lock is how you lock both rear wheels in to pull at the same time. Very much like a car. Generally, a lot of times only one rear wheel is doing the pulling. So if you put it down into rear lock for those situations where you're really stuck, all four wheels are literally doing the same pulling to get you out of those situations. Next to it does have a nice 12-volt plug here for that phone charger. Very close to your cup holders. Maybe you need to plug that phone in. Set your phone up there, your tablet, whatever it may be. So great feature there with the charging port. We also have a full locking glove box here. Now, used to before in Deere models, this was just a hole with a bar across. Now they've implemented in this model a full locking glove compartment, which a lot of people really enjoy. Keep moisture and stuff out of this compartment. As you can see, the operator manual comes in this compartment. And there's also another plug down here. This is going to be for your winch control. Like I showed you before, there's a winch plug in the front. This is going to be the plug for your winch control, as this M model is a winch ready model. So that is what that plug is inside there. From here, I'm just going to step out and show you the under seat storage. So from here, this seat lifts up. This is an optional storage unit. This can remove and just become extra foot space for the rear passenger. Most of the time we'll order these in with this additional storage, as we all know you can't have too much storage on a machine for those long days of work or whatever you're going to be doing. So great feature there. Like I mentioned before, guys, this is a 4-seater model. A lot of people want to play these 2-row machines as a 6-seater, but I want to point out that there are only 2 seat belts in the front and 2 in the rear. To operate this machine safely, this is only a 4-seater model, so keep that in mind. So from here, guys, we'll work our way around to the side, show you a little bit more about the rear. All right, so now we're back here in the rear seat, and one thing I'd really like to point out is, man, these seats are just, they're very thick cushioned, they're very soft. You know, I'm a bigger guy, about 270, and I could ride in here. I've got plenty of foot space. One thing that is kind of in the way is the bracing here on the side, so be careful for that. But other than that, you got plenty of foot space. I'm not cramped. I've got enough foot space. As you can see, when I exit the machine, I wear a size 11 shoe, and I've got plenty of space there to slide on out. So great room here in the rear. And as I talked about before about the space with the underseat storage is, like I said, if you needed to lift this up, very easily. And I want you guys to notice there was no latch on that seat. I just raised it right up. I can set it down, raise it up, no latch system, so that's very easy as well. But if you needed to create that extra storage underneath, this whole unit here in the front, like I said, comes out. So to create that extra space underneath, very easy. Lift the seat up, take that out. You got that extra floor space for, say, those lunch pails, small boxes, whatever you may have that need to go underneath there. You've got the option to do that. So now let's talk about a little bit underneath the seat here at the rear. Again, guys, so easy. It raises right up. Easy to get to the things you need to. Some of the things that are under this seat that you will need to get to. Right here, fuse panel. Take that right off. Get to all those fuses. Very easy there. Underneath there, you've got your battery. So easy to get to. Say in the winter time, you need to put a trickle charger on. You need to jump the machine. Hopefully that's never the case, but if you need to, very easy to get to as well. Right here by the seat belts, this is kind of an odd spot for this, but this is where it ended up. Here's where your oil fill is. Maybe in an odd spot, but very easy to get to. Funnel right there to the oil fill, super easy to get to. Keep in mind that this cap is yellow, and I'll point out a little bit more about that here in a minute. Easy to put this right back on, clamp that down. Get that closed up there. Over here on the other side, you can get to your fuel tank and some of your fuel hoses. So very nice for whenever you are needing to work on this machine. Easy to get to on that as well. And you do have a storage compartment here in the middle that's semi-closed whenever you cover the seat, but you do have that area for various items there, tools or whatever you may need to put in there. Another great feature about this machine that I like to point out, and some people don't know, is if you need this extra space, say for bed space, you do have a latch here on the driver's side. Push this back, and then this whole back seat part for your backrest, headrest, folds all the way down. A lot of people are like, what do I ever need to do there? Guys, you could set buckets on here. You could set hay bales on here. Whatever you need to, just basically adds to that bed space. Great feature for maybe when you don't have the kids or your extra workers or whatever it may be, and you need to just use this for work. You have that option. So not only that, that's also very easy, not real heavy, easy to latch back, easy to unlatch, super clean, nothing difficult. Great feature of this machine. Next, I'd point out maybe right here, lastly on the rear, in the rear seat area, is these tabs here. You release all of these, and this is going to be where your air filter is. You also have your air intake right here. They've changed that a little bit from prior models and other models of John Deere Gators where the air intake was lower. Now it's up higher, a little bit better on keeping your air filter clean, better for the longevity of that air filter. So guys, from here, let's make our way to the rear here and talk a little bit about the bed. Okay guys, back here at the bed, first thing I'd point out is this is a poly bed. Now, there are a lot of guys that are against maybe the fact that this is a poly or plastic bed, but I want you to take notice that this is hard stuff. I mean, it's not just your cheap plastic, so you're not going to throw stuff through it when you're throwing those limbs or T-posts or brackets or whatever things you may be throwing back here, bricks, whatever that may be. You're not just going to bust through this. This is a very heavy poly that Deere has incorporated into this machine, and if they're incorporating it, I'm telling you, it's going to be tough, good stuff. So that's the first thing. Also, the capacity on this bed is going to be a little smaller than what your full-size XUV would be, being as this is a mid-size. This is going to be a 400-pound capacity bed. You have some things like some tie-downs that are incorporated here in the rear. As you can see here, you also have some holes here on the side. These are going to be so you can add those bed rails or those cargo box extensions. So many things that you can add to this to fit your operation. You also have the automotive style tailgate here. One hand, you can raise it, lower, very smooth, very easy. Slide those buckets, whatever those things are. Maybe you have something that's not going to fit long ways, you need to let that tailgate down. Very easy, you can do it with one hand. Also another great feature, instead of having the two latches, having to use both hands to undo it. Automotive style, easy, quick, fast, convenient for you. Next thing about this bed is it is a dump bed. So you have this very nice handle here on the side, grip on it, and it's very easy to raise. It is assisted. It's very easy. There's a shock assistance under there to help that. As you can see, you've got your spring and latch. Not only does this raise or unlatch from this one side, but as you can see as I raise it over there on the far side, that latch is a two-way system. You can raise it, your passenger can get out, raise it on that side. As a driver, you can raise it on this side. Very easy to use. When it closes back down, very good latch. It's very solid. If I raise up on this thing or pull on it, it's not just going to come out of there. So driving around, jarring it around, it's not just going to come open on you. So as we've got this raised up, we'll talk a little bit about underneath here at the engine compartment. The one thing that I talked about before was the yellow oil cap. So I want to point out that there in the center of the machine, you do have your oil tab there. That's going to be for your dipstick. So Deere is very good about color coordinating things to keep your mind working together. The fact you've got oil with a yellow cap, oil dipstick, yellow dipstick. On other machines that have hydraulic functions, so they'll color coordinate those with each other, just like they did here with the engine oil and the engine oil dipstick. Point out too that you've also got plenty of room here to get in and do what you need to do. There's not a ton of room, but they do that for a purpose of getting this bed to raise up to the right angle to dump, not going too far, not enough, but just the right angle for that dump to use that feature. But like I said, it opens up, gives you enough rooms if you need to get in here and adjust your shocks, do those various things for maintenance that you need to do. You have the room to do that. So very good rear of the machine, very nice and easy to work with. We really like this setup here. So definitely get out there and check it out if you're looking at one of these machines. Lastly here, guys, we're going to talk about a few safety features and also the ease of attachability. So stick with us here and we'll go around to the side of the machine and show you those things. All right, guys, last two things we're going to talk about: accessories and most importantly safety. So let's start out with safety and talk a little bit about these doors and some of the features. Guys, this is a, comes standard from the factory. This mesh door here, super easy to get in and out. Super easy clip there. I mean, I've got a 6-year-old son and he could easily do that. Buckles his own seatbelt, same exact concept. Not only is that easy to undo, but guys, whenever you drop that thing out of the way, it's designed to get out of your way to make it easy to get in and out of this machine. That rail starts high here and goes low, allows that thing to get out of the way. Not only that, with the doors, great safety feature for keeping you in. Some of the other things that we've got here is we do have the handrails, one here at the front, one here in the middle for your rear passengers. The seat belts we talked about here in the front, I want to show just a little bit about those. Very solid seat belt, automotive style belt. But I want to talk about how big this clip is, because that's a lot bigger than your standard automotive clip, and for a good reason, as they know that this is an open machine. They want to keep you in there. Really big buckles there. Easy to see. You're going to be in and out of this machine a lot more than you would your car, so very easy to reach and get to, up and right in the way that they need to be. Big clip. Great feature for keeping you safe in that. We've talked a little bit about the framing and styling of this machine, but I want you to notice the full rollover protection system. You've got the roll bars on the top, middle, back. Great for keeping you in if you're going to be on those hillsides. You get in those situations where you might be in a rollover situation. Guys, you're going to be safe when you're wearing that seat belt. you've got your door closed, you've got your rollover protection system, you should be in good shape. One thing while we're up here that I point out is the roof and the attachability of it. Guys, most of the attachments on this machine are easy clamp on attachments, just like this. Undo the clamp, open it up, put it back on, raise that thing off, do what you need to do, take it off to enjoy that sun, whatever that may be. Easy to add attachments to this machine. One that I highly recommend to all of my customers and anybody that would be in the market for this machine is to add that rear view mirror. As you can see, it doesn't come standard with any mirrors, but as we know, seeing behind us is very crucial when we're moving this equipment. So I would add that for sure. Maybe a windshield. I pointed out earlier about the winch, how this is a winch ready machine. You're already wired up and ready to go for that. The only thing you need to do is add it to the machine. So accessories on this machine are huge to making it yours, making it what you want. You're going to go out and get this machine. You want it to be what you want, and like I've shown before, you're already rigged up to be safe. So that's great as well. In closing, guys, one thing that I'd point out is if you're watching this video, more than likely you're in the market for this 4-seater machine. And I want to point out that a lot of people think that this being a long wheelbase machine, a 4-seater machine, that maybe you're losing some of that speed and power. I can guarantee you you're not. This machine tops out at 48 miles an hour. You're going to be able to get in this machine, go where you need to go, haul who you need to haul, be safe, and also be able to work out of this machine. As we pointed out in the back, you got the 400-pound capacity bed. It's a dump bed, so you're going to be able to work out of it. You're going to be able to play out of it. Maybe you're going to take it to the mountains, to the beach, to the river. Whatever you're going to do with this machine, it's going to be capable of doing it. So get out there. Come check one of these things out. Look at it for yourself. Get in it, sit in it, feel it, touch it, do all those things. If there's any other questions that you have, please comment below. Let us know what else you want to see. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.